Right now, somewhere in your bathroom, there is a bottle of foundation that is quietly aging you. Not your skin. Your skin is doing just fine. The foundation. The exact product you reach for to look fresher, more awake, more like yourself. And in my honest opinion, it's doing the opposite. It's sinking into your fine lines. It's flattening your glow. It's adding years you never asked for. I've spent more time than any sane woman should testing foundations on skin over 50, reading through thousands of reviews from women exactly our age, and listening to what makeup artists actually say when the cameras are off. And what I found genuinely changed the way I shop. Some of the most famous, most bought, most hyped foundations in America are, in my opinion, the worst possible choice once you cross 50. So before you do your makeup tomorrow, stay with me, because by the end of this you'll know the 9 I'd put down and the 4 I'd trust on my own face any day of the week. And let me be clear about who this is for. This is for the woman who's been loyal to the same foundation since her 40s and can't figure out why it suddenly looks heavier than it used to. It's for the one getting ready for her daughter's wedding, quietly panicking that her makeup looks cakey in every single photo. It's for anyone who stood at the drugstore display, squinting at 30 bottles with no idea which one won't betray her by 2 in the afternoon. Here's the truth. Almost nobody in the beauty industry will say out loud, the rules change after 50. Our skin gets drier, it gets thinner. Texture that was invisible at 35 suddenly catches the light. And most of these foundations were never designed with our skin in mind. They were built for 25-year-olds with oily T-zones, then sold to the rest of us with a soft focus filter and a famous face. I'm not a chemist, and I'm not going to pretend to be a dermatologist. What I am is a woman who has worn this stuff, watched it fail, and compared notes with thousands of women who've done the exact same thing. Everything I'm about to tell you is my opinion, formed the hard way. So here's the plan. I'm going to count down 9 foundations that, in my opinion, are making women over 50 look older than we are, starting at number 9 and working all the way down to the one I think is the single worst offender on the shelf. And then, because I would never leave you with nothing, I'll give you 4 that genuinely take years off, the ones I'd put on my own face before I walked out the door. Stick with me to the very end, because number 1 on the good list is the foundation I think every woman over 50 should own. But first, do something for me. Go look at what's actually in your makeup bag right now, and then comment below. Which of these brands is sitting on your shelf this very second? Be honest, no judgment. I promise mine has held a few of these in its time. And if you want the unfiltered truth about the beauty industry every single week, the kind they don't put in the ads, go ahead and subscribe, because that's exactly what we do here. Let's start at number 9. And I'm starting here because almost every woman watching has owned this one at some point. The little bottle with the bold name. The drugstore hero your daughter swears by. The one that's lived on the top sellers list for a decade. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. And the name is the whole problem. Matte Poreless. Read it again. That formula was built for young, oily skin that needs shine control. And Maybelline will tell you that themselves. Here's where it goes wrong for us. Once your skin starts to dry out and thin, the way ours does after 50, a flat matte finish doesn't blur your pores. It grabs onto every dry patch and every fine line and holds on for dear life. Makeup artists say it constantly. Matte clings, dewy forgives. So you put it on at 8 in the morning hoping to look poreless, and by lunch, it's settled into the creases around your mouth and your eyes, drawing a little map of every line you've got. For the woman with dry, mature skin, who just grabbed the most popular bottle on the shelf because everyone has it, this one, in my opinion, is working against you. Affordable, yes. Beloved by teenagers, absolutely. Right for skin over 50? Not even close. But if you think a matte drugstore foundation is rough on mature skin, wait until you see what the next one does after a few hours. Number 8 is one your mother probably wore, and maybe you still do out of pure habit. Revlon Color Stay, specifically the version for combination and oily skin, the one with the matte finish that promises to last 24 hours. And look, I understand the appeal. The staying power is real. This stuff does not move. But that's exactly the trap. A foundation engineered to lock down for 24 hours and resist everything has to be tough. And tough is the last thing dry, mature skin needs sitting on top of it. What I've found, and what review after review from women our age echoes, is that on drier skin it can go flat. A little tight, almost chalky as the day wears on, settling into the smile lines and across the forehead. It doesn't melt into your skin. It sits on it like a layer. For the woman over 60 who's worn this since the 90s, because it was always reliable, I'd gently say it's time to break up. There is a normal to dry version that behaves better, so check your bottle. But that long-wear matte formula so many of us grab on autopilot, long-lasting, sure. Flattering at our age? In my opinion, no. And the next one isn't just unflattering. It's a foundation half the internet would fight me over. Number 7, and before I say a single word, I already know the comments are coming for me, because this is a foundation people genuinely love. Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear. Incredible brand. One of the best shade ranges ever made, and I will never take that away from it. If you have young, oily, or normal skin, it can look unbelievable. But there's that little word again. Matte. Soft matte, they call it, and it is softer than most. Still, on mature, drier skin, what I've found, and what so many women over 50 say in the reviews, is that it can cling to dry patches, settle into laugh lines, and go a touch flat and dull after a few hours, instead of looking like luminous, living skin. It was designed to be a longwear matte, and longwear matte and 50-year-old skin are just not natural partners. Now, I know I'm about to make a lot of you genuinely angry by putting a cult favorite like this on the list. So tell me right now in the comments, am I completely wrong about Fenty? Did it work beautifully on your mature skin? I actually want to hear it, because loyalty to this one runs deep. But my honest opinion stands. Gorgeous brand, wrong finish for us. And the next one is a foundation that doesn't just sit flat. It can actually turn on you and change color halfway through the day. Number 6 is one I see recommended everywhere, and I think it's one of the most disappointing on this list for our skin. L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. The pitch is fantastic. Lightweight, long wear, transfer proof, looks great in the bottle. And on the right skin, fine. But here's the thing nobody warns you about. This is a foundation a lot of women report oxidizing. That's the beauty word. For when your foundation looks perfect for an hour, and then slowly turns darker and more orange against your skin as the day goes on. You matched it perfectly in the store. You swatched it on your jaw. And by 3 o'clock, you're a shade too dark and a little too orange, which on mature skin reads as tired and muddy rather than fresh. On top of that, transfer-proof formulas are built to grip, and gripping formulas love to settle into texture. So you get the double whammy. A foundation that can both change color and sink into your lines. For the woman who picked this because the word fresh was right there in the name, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, it can do the exact opposite. Long wear, transfer proof. And for a lot of us, a slow drift into orange. The next one isn't a budget mistake though. The next one costs real money, and I think it's one of the most overrated foundations for mature skin you can buy. Number 5. We're moving up into the foundations that cost real money now, and this is one of the most famous in the world. MAC Studio Fix Fluid. Walk into any MAC counter, and this is the workhorse. Full coverage, matte finish, beloved by professional makeup artists for photo shoots and stages and bridal parties. And that's exactly the point I want you to hear. It was built for cameras and stage lights, for skin that needs to look flawless under 1,000 watts. It is a heavy, full coverage, matte foundation, and on everyday mature skin, in regular daylight, heavy and full and matte, is the recipe for the thing we all dread. That thick, cakey, mask-like look that announces to the whole room that you are wearing a lot of foundation. The more you layer on to cover discoloration, the more it builds up in your lines and over your texture, and the older it can read. Makeup artists themselves will tell you, on mature skin, less coverage almost always looks younger than more. For the woman who saved up and treated herself at the Mac counter expecting magic, I'd say this one, on us, is doing far too much. Famous, professional, and in my honest opinion, much too heavy for everyday life over 50. The next one is even more matte, and it's absolutely everywhere on social media right now. Number 4 has gone completely viral, especially with the younger crowd, and I keep seeing women our age buy it because of the hype. NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, the 24-hour full coverage version. The name alone should tell you who it's for. It is built to survive a music festival, a double shift, a night out that ends at sunrise. Full coverage, ultra matte, 24-hour wear. And every single one of those features that makes it a hit with 20-year-olds is, in my opinion, exactly what makes it a mistake for us. A foundation engineered to be that matte and that long wearing has to be drying. There's almost no way around it, and dryness is the enemy of mature skin. What I've heard over and over from women over 50 is that it can feel tight, look flat, and settle fast into the fine lines, with none of that lit from within glow that actually makes us look younger. It's a phenomenal foundation for the skin it was made for. It was just never made for ours. Viral. Full coverage. And, for skin over 50, in my opinion, a fast track to looking older instead of bolder. Now we're into the top 3, and number 3 is the most controversial pick on this entire list. I guarantee it's in some of your bags right now. Number 3, take a breath, because I'm about to touch a sacred cow. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place, the original, not the lighter version. This is one of the most worshipped foundations on the planet. People are fiercely, religiously loyal to it. And I get the loyalty, the coverage is beautiful, and the longevity is genuinely incredible. But here's my honest opinion, and I know it'll cost me some of you. The original Double Wear is a heavy, matte, ultra-long wear formula, and that is a tough combination for mature skin. So many women over 50 tell me the very same story. It looks flawless for the first hour, and then it can go matte and flat, oxidize a shade darker, and settle into every line by the afternoon, especially if you didn't lay down a perfect primer first. It demands a lot of prep to behave on dry skin, and frankly, at our age, a foundation should work with us, not hand us homework. I know the Double Wear devotees are typing furiously right now, so go ahead, tell me I'm wrong, defend your holy grail in the comments, I can take it. And while you're at it, comment if you've ever spent good money on a legendary foundation that left you looking older instead of younger. Be honest, I know for a fact I'm not the only one who's been burned. Iconic. Worshipped, and in my opinion, just too heavy for most skin over 50. The next 2 are the ones I feel strongest about, and number 2 is a foundation that, to me, has no business being on a single mature face. Number 2. This one I feel genuinely strongly about, because it's cheap, it's everywhere, and it gets grabbed on autopilot by exactly the women it's worst for. CoverGirl Outlast, the transfer proof, all day, stay fabulous formula. Transfer proof is the key phrase. A foundation that refuses to come off on your collar or your phone is a foundation built to grip your skin and never let go. And that kind of grip, on dry, mature skin, is brutal. What I found is that it tends to set down hard and flat, almost like a coat of paint, and then it cracks and settles into your expression lines as your face moves and talks and smiles through the day. It can look fine standing perfectly still in the mirror at home, and then the moment you laugh at dinner, there it is, sitting in every crease. There's no glow, no life, no movement, just a flat, matte, slowly cracking layer that, in my opinion, can add 10 years on its own. For the woman who picked the most budget-friendly, long-lasting bottle on the shelf to save a few dollars, please believe me, your skin deserves so much better than this. Cheap, long-lasting, and, on mature skin, in my honest opinion, one of the most aging finishes out there. But it's still not the worst, because the number 1 foundation on this list is the one that makes me the angriest, the one that sells you flawless and hands you older. And here we are. Number 1. The foundation I think is the single worst choice a woman over 50 can make, and it makes me angry precisely because it's marketed as the opposite. Make Up Forever Matte Velvet Skin, the full coverage matte formula. This is professional grade. It's expensive. And the entire promise is an airbrushed, poreless, flawless complexion, with the word velvet right there in the name to make it sound soft and luxurious. Here's the cruel irony, in my honest opinion. The very thing that makes it look flawless on a 25-year-old in a studio, that dense, full coverage, velvety matte finish, is the exact thing that ages mature skin the most. Velvet matte on smooth young skin looks like a filter. The identical formula on skin with real texture and real fine lines doesn't blur them. It casts a tiny shadow into every single one and emphasizes them. You pay a premium for flawless, and on us it can deliver a flat, heavy, every line visible finish that reads years older than your actual age. And that, to me, is the whole trick of this category. Selling our generation a young woman's foundation in luxury packaging, and letting us believe the problem is our face. It was never your face, it was the foundation. So here's my question, and I want a real answer. Now that you know, are you going to toss the ones in your drawer? Or keep reaching for them out of habit anyway? Tell me the truth in the comments. No shame either way. We've all kept the wrong thing far too long. Okay. Take a breath, because I've just trashed 9 foundations, and I don't want to leave you standing in your bathroom feeling like everything you own has betrayed you. Go look, and if you've got any of those 9, just set them aside, no drama. Because here's the good news, and it's genuinely good news. Foundation that makes you look younger, fresher, lit from within, at 50, 60, and well beyond absolutely exists. You've just been sold the wrong stuff for years. So let's flip this completely. These are the 4 foundations I trust, the ones I'd put on my own face before I walked out the door, the ones I think actually take years off. And if these are giving you life, do me a favor and hit subscribe. Because finding the good ones is exactly what we do here, every single week. Counting down from 4 to the one I believe every woman over 50 should own. Number 4 on the good list, ET Cosmetics CC Plus Cream with SPF 50. This brand was built alongside plastic surgeons and dermatologists, and it shows. It was made with real, aging skin in mind. It gives you buildable coverage for redness and dark spots, but it behaves like skincare. Hydrating, comfortable, and with a true broad-spectrum SPF 50 built right in, which matters more for our skin than almost anything else. It covers what you want covered without going chalky, and it leaves you looking soft and slightly radiant instead of flat and heavy. For the woman who wants coverage, sun protection, and hydration all in one single step, this is a real win. IT Cosmetics proves you can cover your skin and care for it at the very same time. Number 3, and this one's for everybody who just watched me trash a pile of expensive foundations and thought, fine, but I am not spending a fortune. I hear you. L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation with SPF, and the whole reason I trust it is right there in the name. It was formulated specifically for mature skin, with a hydrating serum-like texture that sinks in instead of sitting on top. It gives you a light to medium, glowy, my skin but better finish that genuinely does not settle into the fine lines the way the matte stuff does. It's the proof that you do not have to spend $80 to look fresh, because this one lives at the drugstore for a fraction of the price. Lightweight, luminous, and made for us. L'Oreal Age. Perfect shows that the right drugstore foundation can absolutely outperform the fancy ones our skin hates. Number 2, Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. Charlotte Tilbury built her entire reputation on making women look glowing and radiant, not flat and matte, and this foundation is that philosophy in a bottle. It's medium, buildable coverage with a luminous, hydrating, skin-like finish, made with hydrating ingredients so it sits beautifully on drier, mature skin instead of clinging to it. What I love is the way it looks like lit from within, real skin, covered and even but alive, with that soft glow that genuinely reads younger. It's a treat-yourself price, not a drugstore one, but in my opinion, it's the kind of foundation that's actually worth it. Luminous, hydrating, made to make skin look like skin. This is the glow the matte foundations took away from you, handed right back. And number 1, The foundation I think every single woman over 50 should try at least once. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Ask any makeup artist, any beauty editor, any celebrity what they reach for, and this name comes up again and again, and it has for over 20 years, for one simple reason. It is the gold standard of looking like glowing, healthy skin. It's lightweight and buildable, with a luminous satin finish that, by near universal agreement, does not settle into fine lines or wrinkles. It evens you out, it gives you that soft focus radiance, and it never, ever looks like a mask. Makeup artists, beauty editors, and women our age across the internet agree on almost nothing, but they agree on this one. Yes, it's an investment, but if there's one foundation worth saving up for after 50, in my honest opinion, this is the one. Lightweight. Luminous. The one that actually takes years off. Giorgio Armani. Luminous Silk proves, better than anything else out there, that the right foundation doesn't hide you, it gives you back. So let's bring it home. The 9 I'd put down. The matte Maybelline that clings, the long-wear Revlon that goes flat, the cult Fenty that's wrong for our skin, the L'Oreal Infallible that drifts orange, the heavy MAC that cakes, the viral NYX that dries you out, the worshipped double wear that's just too much, the budget CoverGirl that cracks like paint, and the expensive Makeup Forever that sells you flawless and hands you older. And the 4 I'd trust on my own face. IT Cosmetics for coverage and care, L'Oreal Age Perfect for an affordable glow, Charlotte Tilbury for that lit from within finish, and Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, the one I think every woman over 50 should own. Here's the moral, and please take it with you. After 50, glow beats coverage and hydration beats matte, every single time. The goal was never to bury your skin under product. It was to let your skin look like the best version of itself. That's it. That's the whole secret the ads will never tell you. So before you do your makeup tomorrow morning, go through your bag honestly and be ruthless. If it's matte, if it's full coverage, if it's built to last 24 hours, ask yourself whether it's loving your skin or fighting it. Now I need 2 things from you in the comments. First, which foundation did I leave off this list? The one you love, or the one you think is even worse than my number 1? And second, what should I put under the microscope next? Concealers that crease and settle? Powders that age you? Primers that actually work? You tell me, and I'll make it. If this saved you from even one more bad bottle, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss one. Because next time we're going deep on the concealers, and trust me, a few famous ones are quietly making those under eye lines so much worse. Until then, take care of that beautiful skin. Wear what loves you back, and remember, it is never too late to look exactly like yourself, only better. This is Beauty After 50. I'll see you in the next one.